And
We live.
peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom Show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. As y'all know, we come live every Sunday, noon Eastern Time, to talk the basketball conversation and the GOAT conversation. So here we are with another great episode on a Sunday afternoon for you guys. We'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's on our YouTube channel, all our YouTube members as well. Shout out to you guys. Make sure you check out the membership for GOAT James Kingdom as we provide perks, and we're going to definitely continue to do what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom. And thank you for your support. We also want to shout out to everybody that's on our Facebook and TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. We are live on our Facebook as well through Brandon's account, so you guys can go right on ahead and click on the link and check us out there. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the content, man, because we are here today as we are always. We're going to send the link out to those who want to join the show. We'll have our normal panelists as well. So we want to thank you for joining us. We want to, say shout out to everybody that's already here. We're going to get the show going. We're going to discuss LeBron James announcing his 21st NBA season after winning the record-breaking or the best record-breaking performance of the year, which is an ESPY award. And we're going to discuss that as well. We're going to talk about the NBA You're on mute.
Okay. All right. What'd you say?
I said, "You ready, brother? You ready? You ready for today's show?"
Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and get it on.
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna send the link out to a couple of folks. Give me a second
Okay.
here. So, you sent out the link, right?
Yeah, I sent out a link to a few people.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so let's get this thing going here. So, well, first things first. Let's talk about the ESPYS. Did you get the video, or do you have the video, or do you have anything for that with the speech? No.
No, I don't have anything with the speech.
No.
I think we all saw it.
Yeah, we all saw it. We all saw it. What's good, Adrian? Yeah, man. I mean, your boy Al, man. Al and Pal show said that it was a dramatic a speech. Or he has to be dramatic. What do you think about people making it seem like LeBron James is always acting, or he's always like I don't get why they do that, because it doesn't matter if he says something or don't say something. People are paying attention.
No, the thing with that is that people want like our celebrities and everybody to be more, authentic, more genuine. They want to know about people's lives and everything. And when LeBron starts talking, they get upset. I don't know, understand. Like in social media, that's just what it does today. That's just how people are. I don't understand why people get so upset when LeBron James starts talking about, his life, what's important to him, things that he feel about himself, because that's what we want to hear from, people in the media. But as soon as LeBron do it, it's different. Probably because Jordan doesn't do it. And I don't know. It's just a weird thing that everything has to be around what Michael Jordan wants, like what Michael Jordan did. If Michael Jordan didn't do this, why is LeBron James doing it? I think that's basically what it is. Because it,
But
it just don't make any sense to me.
it really doesn't, because you know what? The first thing I thought about when he gave the speech was I was like, wow, that was a beautiful thing. Like he gave his wife props off the top, right? And in my mind, while I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, how much how much Savannah being such a solid woman to LeBron James helped him throughout his career. You know what I'm saying? To become the great player that he is. Because for him to be able to even play this long, you have to have a wife willing to sacrifice a
And
lot.
somebody
You know what I'm
supportive,
saying?
yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? So he
John,
he what up, Chad? What's good, Travis? Give me a second. We're gonna let y'all guys get in.
behind
Um,
every great man is a great woman.
and everybody knows this, right? So it's like, and we know this because like it's a perfect example with like the president, right? There's no such thing as a single president. A president must be married to some degree, because when you're married, people know you're stable. You know what I'm saying? There's a solid foundation you're on, so people could trust you a little bit more. So when we're talking about LeBron James as a player, how much has Savannah helped him? And that's the first thing he gave her praise for, was like, listen, baby, you meant so much to me, and you're such a beautiful person. You're giving me the opportunity to do all of these great things. And then they got mad at her because she called him the GOAT.
Yeah, they're pushing. It's like LeBron forced her to push this narrative that he's the GOAT and all this stuff, and the media talking about why did he say that? We're lucky that he's coming back, because you guys are. Because you guys are lucky that he's coming back. Like you guys spent most of the season talking about LeBron and the Lakers.
Oh my God.
I just don't understand it. That's all you guys want to talk about is
It's
LeBron
gonna
and the
it's
Lakers.
gonna be boring for him when he's gone.
Yeah, it's boring for the media when the Lakers don't play a game on a certain day. That's just how it is. I don't understand the media making this a big deal. I know Cal Hurd was complaining that LeBron should never said that and all this other stuff, but that's what the majority of y'all
What has
show is about.
Calipari done?
LeBron, you said what?
What has Calipari done? He gets the top recruits all the time and can only win one championship in 15 years. Talk about Calipari, the coach of the Kentucky, right?
No, Colin Cowherd. Well, yeah, I think his
Oh,
name
okay, okay.
Cowherd.
All right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
misheard you.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, he was saying that LeBron shouldn't have said that. We're not lucky that he's coming back and all this other. Yes, you guys are lucky that he's coming back because you guys will have nothing else to talk about. Yeah, I don't want to talk about Embiid that much, Jokic that much. You get tired of talking about Giannis. All y'all want to talk about is LeBron James. That's the problem.
I mean, he said y'all are fortunate, right? That's what you're talking about. He said y'all are fortunate that today's not that day. Is that what you're talking about, Brandon?
Yeah, he says something about lucky for y'all that's not the day or something like that.
Okay. No, I mean, the way I took it was, if you're a hater, you're gonna say, oh, he's talking, like, oh, lucky for y'all fortunate, y'all fortunate that I ain't, I'm not quitting or whatever. But in my mind, it felt like that's him saying, I'm gonna still give y'all the greatness that I've been giving y'all for 20 seasons. So fortunate for y'all, I still got it, and I'm gonna bring it for y'all for another season. I still got another season left for anybody who appreciates greatness. I don't see how you would be upset that LeBron James is coming back.
I mean,
Get it?
exactly. It's not fortunate for him to come back. He's a billionaire. He owns multiple sports teams, endorsements, movies. Like he does not. He could have quit 5 years ago and still been set.
He's crazy. He's
Don't
crazy.
get it, man.
They are just pure, and what like Brandon said, they're not gonna have nothing to hate on. I mean, maybe Kevin Durant, because
I don't really hate on him that much either. He get passes for everything.
I don't know, man. Did you see what Ryan Davis, the Ryan Davis skit that he did on Kevin Durant?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty
But
good.
Kevin Durant, he be asking for it. Like he should know there are certain people you should just leave alone. He
Comedians
should
are
know.
the number
Yeah,
one people you should leave
yeah.
alone.
They have thousands of followers. They're gonna make a video of you embarrassing you, no matter what. They could make a video embarrassing LeBron. Like I make videos embarrassing Jordan. Like like there's always something that you could do. I could turn a statement into a video.
Hello. Y'all
I
already
mean, I
know
don't
how
have
we
a
do.
problem with Kevin Durant. I don't have a problem with Kevin Durant or any of these players doing, especially with these casual fans out here putting a number on championships and what you do before you get to the finals and during the regular season doesn't matter. I mean, they're the ones that created this narrative, and then they're complaining about it.
Yeah, crazy.
Right.
What up, Craig?
Yo,
What's going on, man?
yeah,
You got some new boxes for your shoes, huh? You
yeah. I
them all in
gotta
case?
get. I'm putting all my boxes in the attic.
All right, bro. Put that on your tax write off, brother. For Goat James.
Oh,
Kingdom.
yeah, I
Put that on
already
your tax
did.
write-off.
I'm missing like 3 more cases of boxes, but that's what I've been doing the whole weekend.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. What up, Travis? Travis, he's got himself muted. What's up, Travis?
Yo, what's up, gentlemen?
Nothing much.
I
What's up,
thought I
Man.
man?
wouldn't come back on the show, Travis.
Hey, man, whoever they want to invite.
Let me ask y'all two been going at it, right? Between y'all two on the Facebook group.
I
Every
asked him a
once in a
few
while.
questions. I mean, I just kind of want to see what his. I called him out for trying to be super biased, but then I asked him some clarifying questions later on. And yeah, I'd like to talk to him depending on what the topic is. We'll see.
Okay.
So what was y'all going back and forth about?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was y'all going back and forth
Go
about, Chad?
ahead, Travis. Go ahead, tell Travis.
It wasn't a huge back and forth. Like I just got the impression that he was a typical LeBron homer in all no facts, all just assertion. But then I asked him like what his top 10 was and why, and like he seemed sort of reasonable. Everyone knows I don't have a problem with people saying LeBron's a go, but if you're just like, hey, like those Jordan fans, that we had on the other week, and other LeBron fans who were just like, no, 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 these guys are the goats because they won games, but you don't have shit to back up, then that's when we just eviscerate you, and so as long as you're not that guy, then we're fine.
Hey, Brady and Johnny, have you ever heard me call LeBron the GOAT?
You don't believe there's a GOAT.
Yeah, you don't believe there's a GOAT. That's why I was going to ask Travis. I was going to ask Travis, have you watched our show prior to coming on? Because Bill Manning's been on our show, many of times, and he came on a lot, explaining his criteria. He's even given us a top 10 list to put together for him.
Yeah, no, he did the same thing with me, and he said that there's no GOAT, but he gave us like top 10 players, and and then we talked a little bit. That was fine.
Yeah. My only problem with Bill Manning is he calls Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Lou Alcindor. Other than that, we good.
See, Johnny, now look, man. He becomes famous as Lou Alcindor, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so older people know that that's what his name is. A lot of people that has different names, man, they become famous after they change their names.
Well, okay,
Everybody know him by Kareem.
What is Chuck
Everybody
Norris's
know by
name?
Kareem.
What's Chuck Norris's name, Johnny?
Huh? I don't know.
What is Chuck Norris's name?
I don't have
Carlos Ray.
Is Carlos Ray's Chuck Norris's real name?
Yes.
But listen, those are actors. Actors change their name all the time. I don't
Yeah,
think
that's the point that I was trying to make with Lou Alcindor. Is he actually wore an NBA jersey with Alcindor on the back. Commentators called him Lou Alcindor.
But that's what I was going to ask you. He changed his name in 1972. That's 50 years ago. I don't think you're 50 years old, Chad.
No, but I have seen replays of games.
Okay.
Older people
And that's
know
what,
about
like
Kareem.
I said, my dad thinks that he is the GOAT, and my dad has always called him Lou Alcindor.
Well, your dad is. I'm quite sure your dad's somewhere in his 70s, so he might just hold on to old things. You should.
He does. He doesn't think. He thinks that LeBron James and Michael Jordan are nothing but ball hogs, glory holders. Because, like I said, man, he grew up in the 50s and 70s.
What up, Ralph?
Glory. What up?
What's good, man? Good to see you, man. We got our panel here, y'all. Y'all can see we are here today. We talking GOAT James Kingdom, and we talking GOAT James stuff, man. Listen, y'all know, I listen to a lot of stuff, man. But this whole thing, LeBron James is chasing something still. That's why he's playing. Has to stop. It really does. It really does. Can you bring up the graph?
I don't even know what he's chasing. I even look at that stuff. Let me download it. Like I don't really know what LeBron's chasing, but apparently he's chasing Jordan.
He's chasing Bronny Jr.
How you chasing him when Bronny Jr. is younger?
He's chasing until he gets into the league and plays with his son to be the first one to do so.
You mean he waiting?
But let me ask you a question: Can Bronny make the league next year, or he has to? You think he has to wait another year after that?
He can make the year after his first year.
Do you think he can? Do you think he could physically be able to play the game?
I'll say he'll make it up in the first year, but he won't be a number one draft choice. I wouldn't even give him a top 15 pick.
Why wouldn't he make the NBA?
I don't know. I haven't really seen him play that much. So that's why I'm asking. I really don't know.
I seen him
really good. He's very
good,
talented.
But I want to see what he does on the college level and see how he plays against those guys to give my analysis on it. I'm not gonna judge him just yet because it's a lot of players that look like phenoms in high school and just performed at a high level, and then next thing you know, they get to college, there's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, but I would say he's played against some NFL players.
NBA. Well, he played against all the best players in high school, so there's nothing about what he needs to do on the court. He's already did that.
Like John Morant, he wasn't ranked that high or anything.
That's a lot of players. Dame Lillard wasn't like that's a lot.
Yep.
That's the NBA. But none of them had the training that Bronny has had.
So you got him leaving USC next year, Brandon. I said he's going to do a 1 year.
He probably will. He probably will.
Okay.
There's no reason for him to stay unless he wants to stay. He's going to be drafted. Simple as that. Like even if he's not even that great, he's going to be drafted most likely in the first round.
Well, okay. Well, then, Craig, what is LeBron chasing, Craig? Because I know you got the answer.
You got a whole lot of information.
What's the answer, Craig?
Well, if he ain't chasing nothing, then he's not. If he's not trying to win, then
Did you quit?
How is he not trying to win? How is he not trying to win?
I'm just saying, dude, he's chasing a ring. Y'all keep saying he's not chasing nothing. He ain't.
He said, who's he chasing? They keep saying that he's chasing Jordan.
A ring. So he's not playing for rings no more.
So a ring's a person now.
What that has to do with Jordan? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, wait a
like,
minute.
why they
Jordan?
Is he
not mentioned Jordan? No one said
Craig, is he chasing a ring or is he trying to win a ring?
He's chasing a ring. He's trying to win a ring. Everybody's chasing a ring.
Okay, so it's not a bad thing then. What you're saying is basically he's still playing to win a championship.
Duh.
Okay, so that's not. I mean, I guess you want to call it. So it's not really. He's not really chasing anything, and that's not really.
I mean, if you're not trying to win a ring, then what are you doing in the NBA?
You know the funny thing about that is, all we hear from thousands of Jordan fans daily how LeBron chasing Jordan, and then when Craig always be told what they're
what
saying,
does Jordan have
he say the opposite.
That LeBron doesn't. If you want to get technical, what does he have that LeBron?
Well, the only thing, like y'all say, he doesn't have the 6 championships, the 6 Finals MVPs, the 5 MVPs, the Defensive Player of the Year, the 2 dunking titles.
Oh, you know more than I do. I was just gonna say championships.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you guys know we hear it.
So y'all think if LeBron already had his 6 championships, y'all think he would still be playing?
Yes,
of course he'd be playing. He's not. I mean, the most is 11. Why? Who in this right mind thinks the most is 6?
Well, we all know ain't nobody gonna win 11 final series like the Russells did. That's never gonna happen. I don't care what anyone gonna say. No one's gonna win 11 championships
I mean,
in 12 years.
That's our response.
So why can't 6 be added to that? So no one's gonna win 6 championships again.
There's people that won 5. Duncan
will
won
win
5.
6 championships.
Kobe won 5. 6 is much easier to do than 11. You got people who got 5.
So Jordan 6 was easier than 11, correct? That's what you're saying, right? That's what you're saying, right?
No, I'm saying it's easier to get to than 6 comes before 11. I mean, you got to get to 6 before you get to 11.
I think.
Well, Craig, maybe in the next 10, 15 years, they might add another 6 teams over the league and somebody actually be on a good team that stays together. It could be achieved again.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard to win that many championships. Even when
because take Duncan and Kobe for an example. Did they have the same core players in all of their championships?
Nah.
Duncan probably did.
Duncan had most of the players. Yeah.
Duncan was Mr. Robinson.
Duncan and Robinson won 2.
Different than the other teams.
And then Mano and Parker, and then Mano, Parker, and Kawhi. I mean.
Well, Mano and Tony, I believe, didn't they win 4?
3 different decades.
You're right, Ralph. They were on the 03 team, but they weren't really like the factors that they were like in 05 and
they won 03, 5, 7.
You know what I'm saying?
Duncan has won championships without them, correct? Duncan has won championships without them, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's like not take it in context. It's the same thing with Bill Russell and Michael Jordan. They had the same core the entire run.
Bill didn't.
Mike didn't have the same.
Bill didn't. Bill didn't. No.
Bob
Cousy was gone
for the last 2 runs.
Yeah, Bill didn't.
They just only had to play 1 round. That's it.
Only person
it's harder to win a 1-game series than it is a 7-game series, though, right?
It was Sam Jones.
Because you want it done. You want it done. There's more to that.
For the most of them.
Well, Sam Jones. Sam Jones was drafted in. I mean, Casey Jones was drafted in '59, I believe. So he went from '59 to because he played Casey Jones played 8 years and had 8 championships. So he that 8-year run that they went on was the year that Casey Jones was on that team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was one of the main forwards in his championship runs. Like out of the 11, I want to say Sam Jones and Casey Jones had the longest tenure with Bill.
Which Sam Jones had 10 championships with Bill.
Sam Jones played
literally years. Almost all of them was with Bill.
Yeah, Sam Jones left when Bill left, and he was drafted the year after Bill came in. And then you have
And that's
Cousy.
what I'm saying, man. Like,
You had Cousy, Hyacinth, Bill Russell, and Sam Jones for like the first 4 or 5 championships. Then eventually you get Casey Jones, Tom Sanders, Havlicek comes in 63, 64. Those are the 4 guys until they go all the way to the end.
Yeah, Sam was there for 10 of them.
Yeah, Sam was there for 10. He was there in 58 when they lost.
And that's what I'm saying. What other 2 players have played together that long and has got that many championships other than Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan?
Nobody got that many championships.
That's the point that I'm trying to say.
Well, this is the era where everybody wants to get paid. So you can't.
Casey got 8.
And who started that?
Bruce Brown just got paid in Indiana. Like ain't nobody. They want to get paid. They don't really jack championships like back in the day.
Who started that though?
I'm not an NBA player.
Who started that?
Who started what?
Started what? Trying to get paid?
Who started that, Craig?
Well, starting to get paid?
No, who started the players getting paid? Who started that? Who put the ball in motion to get that started?
Magic, when he signed 25 year, $25 million.
That's true.
Yeah,
that was
so
really
Magic's 25-year, $25 million is the same equivalent as Michael Jordan getting paid $33 million in one season.
Well, you got to understand, Mike for most of his career was underpaid. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he was.
He made $94 million for a career.
I know he was the biggest pusher of getting players paid. Is my thing. Look at how he did.
No,
push for Scottie
that was
Pippen
Larry Johnson when he came with the $84 million contract. He started it.
It really was Isaiah Thomas.
What he got with Charlotte.
It's really Isaiah Thomas as the head of the Players Association during the 90s. And he got the players their money because the money was coming in. ESPN, NBC.
And Larry Johnson. And Larry Johnson was the first player to get the big contract when he got that $84 million.
I didn't say Jordan was the first one to get the biggest contract. I did not say that.
No,
he said who started it, and Larry Johnson was the one
when
that
I say started
started
doesn't mean that he got the first one. I'm talking about he was one of the biggest promoters of trying to get the NBA players paid, man, because he was the face of the league. So that's what he should have done.
Well, the real problem is the contract length, right? Because that's what you guys are talking about. You can't sign players for 6, 7, 8 years and hold them down anymore. You can only hold players for 3, 4 years max.
I think the last person that had that long contract. I think the last person that had a long contract was Kevin Garnett when he signed that $137 million. I think it was like over 7 years, 8 years, something like that.
Yeah. Wow. What we're seeing now is just a lot of we're seeing teams shuffling around built for the 3-4 year stretch because you're right, like players, they're signing them to 2-3 year deals because they know that the movement's going to be high based on, hey, if they have an incredible year, there's going to be suitors for them, so we have to win now. And I think it's decent for the league. I mean, it sucks for like the fan base who wants sustained excellence, but it's fun because what we're seeing is more parity, I think, relatively speaking, than we did, like especially in the early 2000s, where you had just the dominance by like the Spurs, Lakers, same 3 teams were in the mix, like the Kings, stuff like that. But it's the fan bases are all hopeful. You get like I think there's emphasis on the draft now more than there has been the last few years, and I think it was good that a relatively small market team won the championship. And so again, the NBA is, I think, at one of its all-time highs as far as popularity goes. And just to comment on the LeBron thing, I don't have a problem with what he said, and I think I don't have a problem with what Savannah said either. I think that everyone has their opinion. I don't have a problem with LeBron coming back.
Oh, you could see the headlines if she didn't call him the GOAT.
Well, I mean, I don't care what you said, but
she called him the
LeBron James' wife doesn't think he's the GOAT.
LeBron James' wife called him the GOAT respectively.
Yeah, she's like, respectful.
What do you think she's supposed to say?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. What do you think she's supposed to say?
But that's what we're saying. Like, I don't get why people are upset that she think her husband's the GOAT. I don't understand this.
Yeah. Like I said, if she didn't say it, what do you think they say? If she didn't say it, what do you think they say?
That house would have been turned upside down.
Yeah, it would have been.
If she didn't say it, it wouldn't have been a thought.
The internet would be offline for 48 hours.
Yeah, and we'll see that it's been a divorce happened afterwards too.
Funny thing is, she
What
would
you
have been
talking
like,
about?
"Here's a top 5 player coming up right now, my husband."
The GOAT. He's the GOAT. You see that beautiful
But the
pendant
answer
he
to
brought
you-
up when he broke the record. That's what we talked about when we first started the show, man. You get a good woman like that, you can accomplish what LeBron accomplished. You could be the GOAT because you got Savannah on your side.
That's nasty. That's nasty.
That's not nasty. You got a beautiful
Yeah,
wife.
that's a nasty narrative right there.
Rob, everything you do is because of your wife and your family. That makes you a better man.
Joy had a wife by his side when he was the GOAT. He just
sure
didn't want to
did?
be with her no more after.
We sure. That's why he no longer the GOAT, because he ain't got a wife no more.
He three-peated
Now he went
twice. He got
something.
married twice. Man, he does this all the time. He repeats everything.
That's what
That's
happens when you hang out with them old preppy old white men. You get married 4 or 5 times in your life.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
That's reality, bro. That's fucking reality. Y'all don't understand what we go through as black men. To see a man like LeBron James have a beautiful family and be a beautiful man and being in the top of his game and the top of his profession and doing all of that, and to have other men, like I got people in the comment sections in our Facebook of Savannah at a party somewhere trying to make her seem indecent of some sort. Like this is how far people go in their hate for LeBron James. This is why they get exposed here. We stop that. Y'all got to stop disrespecting LeBron. Y'all got to appreciate that man for his skills, for everything that he does. That's just being real, bro.
I'm gonna look at my phone right now and I can see about 45,000 personal MJ slander that has nothing to do with basketball being posted as we speak.
Okay, see,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Who started this? Who started this warfare? This is what I'm saying. If you know your man is completely disastrous and behind the scenes, why would you guys want to talk about people behind their scenes? As if we can't talk about Jordan.
You go look up any of my posts. I don't talk about anybody's personal life.
You're gonna take one for the team, Craig.
I'm not.
And so Craig Craig want everybody who posts about Jordan to stop posting because he doesn't do it. All these thousands of people constantly
No.
respecting LeBron every day. So we should never do it because Craig don't do it.
With your little one-liner post, man. I'm on your post almost every time you do one of them little cheesy ass one-liners.
Every time I see a post about LeBron
I've never
James,
seen Ralph do it. I'll say I've never seen Ralph do it.
What?
No, Ralph
Post about Jordan like Craig.
Hold on, what'd you say, Johnny?
You let
does
people go
down
on
there,
your TikTok live.
and then Craig will sit down there and lie, say don't.
And do what?
I don't have
Be
TikTok.
disrespectful towards the GOAT.
Nah, they get personal. I check that. I'm like, yo, we gotta talk
I
about
don't even
basketball.
respond to when they talk about people.
That's true. You did that yesterday when they tried to bring up civil rights movement. You did do that yesterday.
Yeah, keep it basketball. I don't like the personal thing.
Man, I don't like it when they come in there with the fucking Trump shit, dude.
Don't have the fucking Trump logo. Stop fucking having
I don't.
Oh, okay.
some people still remember it.
You another one that don't want to take one for the team. You're gonna sit here walking around with a Trump shirt talking about don't talk about Trump. You're gonna get called out. Like Ralph tells me, if I go on his
But see, it doesn't matter what my profile picture is, man. You know what I'm saying? We're talking basketball. We're not talking politics.
Listen, it doesn't matter how objective Brandon and I are when we talk about.
And that's why I ignore them.
No, listen, it doesn't matter how Brandon and I are objective about talking about LeBron James, how we're not fanatic LeBron James fans. But guess what? We have to take one for the team because when people see us and they see what we're saying, they automatically associate us with that. So we have to take one for the team. We don't shy from that. We just keep banging y'all with the truth. That's what you got to do.
They don't like my truth.
But you can't do that with Michael Jordan's personal life. What about Michael Jordan's personal life would you say is an actual inspiration or something that you would want to do besides being rich?
If you're talking about personal, he's a douchebag. I'm not gonna get into it. Everybody on this earth know that Jordan's a douchebag when you're talking personal. Well, I mean, I don't get into the personal thing.
So that's what I'm saying. So why is LeBron James wearing a pearl necklace being mentioned?
Hey, look, man.
Who said that?
It's
I
like
hope you're
this,
not
dude.
talking about
You know,
these people on Facebook that be trolling that has zero knowledge. Come on, man.
It's
We
on
can't go with
TikTok
those
too.
people.
It's on TikTok too, bro. Yo, you know how
I
many
didn't
times
see
we
it.
get tagged, Ralph? We get
I didn't even
tagged
know
on
he had
so
a
much
necklace
shit.
on. I'm like, who be watching a man's neck like that? Like,
The same ones that fly out to another man's city.
Nah, don't be doing that.
Yeah.
He was
I
going out
mean,
there with his
we be
wife,
getting
man.
hundreds of comments and silly stuff every day. And every time we hear something silly, we don't be like,
I
man,
just
I'm
want
mad
to.
at
I just
Craig
want to
or
know because I
Ralph.
had a guy
That
the
just
other
is how
day
they
that
are.
told me this.
Those same people that make those comments, they don't come up here, do they?
Oh,
I had a guy the
Some
other
of them do.
day.
Exactly.
We was arguing over Jordan and LeBron, and he told me he was 6'3", 40 years old, and he could dunk on me. And I'm just sitting here wondering, if you beat me in a game of basketball, how does that make what you said right?
Look,
Dude,
Ralph,
I'm
Ralph,
5'10".
right
I
now
hope
in
that
the
you can
comments,
dunk
right
on
in the
me,
Facebook
man.
comment,
Like,
it
let's
says
be
right
for
here,
real.
these goofy brontards. This
What's that?
is why
I
they don't
mean,
come
it's
on the show.
everywhere.
They can't talk to us like that in person. They can only. That's why I tell them they're safe in the comments.
Yeah,
I
I'd
always tell them
love
they're
for
safe
Clay
in the
Young to
comments.
get on here.
They do that on TikTok as well, though.
No, I
Bunch
know
of
that.
chatty
I know
patties.
that. I know that. But TikTokers like to go live. That's why I like TikTok guys. They like to talk in person. I like TikTok.
Yeah.
I like those guys. Even if
Yeah.
they're crazy. Some of them are good though. I like some.
I've been calling out a lot of people personally of like if you're like a lot of these threads. I'm not sure exactly. You probably see a lot of it, but there's a lot of threads where people are just saying it goes off of basketball. Like it goes to like, hey, here's some facts about some player, and then people are like, well, fuck you, or like they start thinking like talking
Yeah,
about
you're
people
retarded.
personally and stuff like that, and it's just like,
You need to
okay,
die.
because you can't really people like Tim Fryer. I hope his ass comes on here, but then like they just get personal because like I said, they don't have any facts and they can't really support their narrative beyond just what they've heard Colin Coward or Nick Wright say like in passing. So it's pretty easy to expose them.
But you know what,
Yeah,
Jordan fans.
they basically just like repeat the crap over and over again. That's just what they do. They repeat
Period.
stupid stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Chicken head parrots.
But Jordan fans do the same thing. They use a lot of the same stuff. Like, matter of fact, the finals record talk started with Stephen A. Smith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And I don't.
There's
like,
a dude
I
the
wish
other
someone
day,
would call them
man,
off.
that seriously still believes that Jordan has the most titles.
What?
He
That's
says
an argument
nobody
that
else has
brings
more than 6 titles.
everyone
Like,
down.
just look on the
Everybody
post, man.
know that
There's a
Bill
dude I
Russell.
showed him multiple players that has more titles than Jordan, and he just laughs and said, "No, Jordan's got the most at 6 in NBA era." What the fuck do you mean NBA era? There's always been an NBA. That's the NBA era, right?
I'm
You're
thinking.
the top
I guess he's talking about the
post
expansion
merger.
era because
Okay,
if you
well
go
he's
anyone that
tied
has more
with
No,
than
he might be talking about
it's
decade,
fucking
which
60.
even still he's wrong.
Yeah.
exactly.
No, but
He
you
must
know?
have said
what
finals
he's
MVP.
saying is that Bill Russell's championships do not count.
No,
Okay,
they count.
that's fine. What about
They count.
Lou
They count.
Alcindor?
No, they count. Well, in a decade, Kareem got 5 in the 80s and 1 in the 70s. But Bill
Yeah.
Russell's see that's I can't stand when I talk to people, even on TikTok. It's like, oh, I don't rank players before the 70s. No, these players actually
It's
played.
crazy,
It
man.
counts. You got to count Bill Russell. You got to count Will Chamberlain. You got to count
Especially
these
when
guys because they played in the NBA. It's on the records. Like don't discredit what they
But
did
Bill Russell and
in
Will
their era.
Chamberlain actually had to play through legit racism, man, and a league constantly putting rules in to keep them from dominating, man.
Well, you know what? That was brought up on your live yesterday, Ralph. I want to talk about that.
Oh,
Do
you
y'all
talking about
really
when
think-
Chill was on there?
Yeah, do y'all really think Michael Jordan could have played in the 60s? Michael Jordan already said he couldn't play in social media days. So we already know he couldn't play today.
That right there. I mean, I used to say, "Oh, this player can play in this decade." I can't really say that because it's like you got to look at the style of play, how the way they played the game. It's like you can't take Jordan and put him there. You can't take any
you also
player
gotta
in
go
a
by-
different decade for the fact that they played a different way. So Jordan would have to play their way. So I don't like.
I'm not talking about play style, Rob. I'm talking about the actual social environment that would have been going on at that time.
You have to be grown. Like he didn't
You
grow
know what I'm
up.
saying? Like when I say social media, I'm saying Jordan was somebody that was very conscious of his image. And with social media, you can't control your image. You can't control. There's so much that goes on. There was been so much about Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson that we would have found out about that would have tarnished their image. So that's why he couldn't play in this era, because he would be very cautious with that in his mind. But could he have played it back then? Like, could he have played with somebody coming home knowing that his house was broken into? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like LeBron James had people write stuff on his wall and things like that. Like, I don't think that ever happened to Jordan.
But you also got to
Jordan could have played in that era. That don't really matter.
Means he would have grew up in it already and
he would grew up in it. Yeah, he would have been able
That's
to.
what I'm saying.
Couldn't handle that area.
I mean,
because Jordan is very sensitive, y'all. He's very sensitive, and Boston's a real cruel town. You know what I'm saying?
But he didn't grow up in the racism, so he would have already accepted.
Well, he kind of did. He grew up in North Carolina.
Well, he was an adult. He was an adult in that racism.
Not like
time.
the 50s and 60s, though, man. Like,
I mean, any human would have adapted their era. Like Michael Jordan in the 90s would not have been the same person in the 60s. Simple as that.
You think he would have been more? You think he would have been more of a conscious person?
Jordan wouldn't have been able to be as impactful in his day than he is in the 90s. He said because they're not letting that fly of him coming in there doing 360 dunks and spinning around layups and stuff like that. He said he would never last.
He would have been doing that in the 60s.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been doing that because of the play style.
That wasn't a conversation. No, Ralph's conversation was about because somebody brought up how Bill Russell was the most important person because he played during the civil rights movement and he brought up a lot of stuff about
a coach player, man. On top of it, and I don't think an NBA player would disagree with this. Boston is the most racist town around.
That's what the guy was saying.
He did all that in the racist town in America.
That's what he was saying. He was saying that being that Boston was the way it was.
That's why if I did rank him, that's why I would put him at number 1.
Yeah, he was winning titles to stay alive in Boston. Y'all got to remember that.
And he did, didn't he?
Hey, Rob, you remember what Mark said about Buddy, though? You remember what Mark said about Buddy? And he was saying that he didn't believe him, that he was trying to say that, he was saying, look, Bill.
Yeah.
He was like, Buddy was not that really invested in the civil rights movement. He didn't really think Buddy was serious. So, but hey, Brandon, I'm ready for the grab if you got everything downloaded.
All right, which one you want me to bring up?
Just bring up the first one. Let's bring up the first one because I wanted to talk about him chasing something because that was the thing that I really wanted to bring up, and I wanted to talk about his, what he's done for his career.
You sent me two of them, right?
Yes, 2 of them.
Did you? Which one? I don't know which one is the first one.
Start with the totals.
Totals, all right.
So we can really get them started.
Oh boy.
All right.
All right, so this is the graph that I'm bringing up because everybody's saying LeBron James is chasing something, right? And I say LeBron James is playing because he loves the game of basketball and knows that he can still dominate the game of basketball. That's his thing. I think he's challenging himself to play a longer season. Let's see if that happens. But these are what LeBron James has done so far in his career. He's number 1 in points. He has 10,000 assists, 10,000 rebounds, and over 2,000 steals for his career. He doesn't have to do anything else to solidify himself. He's already the GOAT. If you think he's the GOAT, if he's not the GOAT, there's nothing that's going to change your mind. You're going to have Michael Jordan. Basically, anybody who doesn't have Kobe or Mike as the GOAT has already accepted LeBron James as the greatest player of all time. They literally have. It's only Jordan fans and Kobe fans that are holding on to the last little straw that they got. But Mike, this is what LeBron has done. This is his career. He doesn't have to do no more. He doesn't have to do anything else. He's doing this because he loves playing the game. Now, here is the kicker. He gets that 40,000. He will get 40,000. You guys are not going to have nothing to say. It's going to be worse for y'all. And if he gets 11, which is going to be the same thing, 11,000, I don't know if he can get 600 assists. You think he can get 600 assists, Brandon?
Not this year.
Not this year?
Upcoming year. No, that's a lot of assists.
If he plays 70 games at 7 assists per game, that's what? That's still not enough. That's like 500. That's still not going to be enough.
I don't think because he's
So-
actually splitting time with Reeves playing the point, and then you got D'Lo. So,
but either way, he's definitely the 40,000 points is reachable. So that's what he doesn't have to do anything else. Y'all love to say Michael Jordan had the, what was it called? The love to play the game clause in his contract where he can play basketball whenever he wants, however he wants. LeBron James says, if I'm going to keep playing basketball, I'm going to do it as a professional NBA player. And I'm going to play with the best and play against the best. And you can go to the next graph, Brandon.
When has he played against the best? He only teamed up against the best.
What you said, Craig? Go ahead, say it, Craig. I'm listening. What happened, Craig?
You mean team up with the best?
No, he can't do that now. He can't do that now. Anthony Davis is not even nowhere near the best Laker player. I don't even get it. Like it's just going into the 12th season. Is he going to finally take over the Lakers, or Austin Reeves going to have a better season than him?
Listen, he picked him. He wanted to come to the Lakers. LeBron made it happen.
He didn't pick him. Magic picked him.
You knew he was an injury-prone player in the Pelicans.
Magic picked him. Magic picked him. That's who picked him. And if y'all want to go to the averages, this is LeBron James' career averages for his career, his playoff, and for the finals. The man doesn't have to do nothing else. He doesn't have to.
He use averages for the. Okay, yeah, see,
yeah. I did the totals first for you, then I did the averages second for you.
The averages tell you. Like I said, averages tell you how good a person is. Totals just tell you how long they played.
Okay, well, what do these averages tell you? What do these averages?
How does the average tell you how good a player is?
Because if you look at the career averages of even with this is due to Jordan and LeBron. If you do every career average, okay, LeBron passed him in rebounds. Because he averaged more. He passed them in assists because he averaged more. It only tells you how long the totals only tell you how long you've been playing. The average will tell you how good you are.
That's a ridiculous statement.
25, 7 for 20 years.
That's ridiculous.
How is that ridiculous?
Right, so let me ask him. All right. So do you think Vince Carter's averages is how good of a player he was?
What?
Do you think Vince Carter averages is how good of a player he was?
Yeah. That's
so you think you telling me that Vince Carter is a 16 points per game player in his prime?
That's what the numbers say. We going by numbers. That's what the numbers say.
No, right. I mean, that don't even make any sense.
Say the more you play your average.
But you use the numbers to justify how good LeBron is, but now you want me to use the eye test to tell you why.
I didn't say no eye test. I didn't say nothing about no eye test.
Craig, because this is what you forget to realize, Craig. The same way you say more games played help you in longevity, the least games played helps you in averages. So the least games you play, the more your averages are going to be better. You're going to have an average like a Gilbert Arenas. So you're telling me Gilbert Arenas' averages is better than Vince Carter, so that makes him a better player than Vince Carter?
Hey, if he got more, yeah.
Vince Carter in his prime was a 25, 5-5 player. His career averages is not.
Great.
And what's his career average?
If you kick a can 10 feet,
that means his totality. Now y'all want to use the prime with specific players to help your notion. You just use totals for everything, not their prime.
No, we're telling you the totals tell you how good Vince Carter is. That's why.
What you talking about? We didn't say averages makes you the best player. That's what you said.
You just said in his prime he averaged 25. His career tell you a 16 point per game player.
No, his career tells you he's a 25,000 point player. 25,000 points is what Vince Carter has, Craig.
Okay.
Vince Carter in his career was a 25,000 point scorer. In his prime, he was averaging over 25 points a game. But his career averages said 16. In his career averages only 16 because he kept playing because he loved the game of basketball. That does not show.
He wasn't good enough to keep it to 25.
That doesn't make any sense.
He averaged at 25.
That's the same we keep telling you.
It's like talking to a wall with Craig.
How is it talking to a wall? You use average. You just said the totals.
You said the averages show you how great of a player you are, which it does not.
In his prime, you can't tell
the averages does not show how great of a player you are. The averages do not show how great a player you are. Tracy McGrady averaging less than 20 points a game in his career averages. That's now how great of a player Tracy McGrady was.
Well, he wasn't great enough to average for a career.
Who says your career? Let him saying, like if he would have,
it's no sense.
But he should have been like Jordan and just stopped.
He should have just kept quitting.
High averages.
What happened?
He should quit for 9 seasons so he can have high averages instead of keep
That's
playing?
him. If he's not good enough to play and keep a high averages,
He's good enough to be a first ballot Hall of
If you're not
Famer.
good
That's
enough
how
to play,
great
he
he
wouldn't
is.
be in the NBA, bro. He wouldn't have kept getting contracts from teams if he wasn't good enough to play. Now stop that, Craig.
Oh, what's good enough got to do with averaging 20? There's a lot of players that in the NBA that never average 20.
Because a
You
person
just talk
can
about
average
smaller
20 for
nonsense.
3 years
Stop butting in.
and have 3 great years. They're averaging 20 and then play another 3 years and they drop down to 15 points a game.
You're
but
not
all
good
that dude's
enough to keep
ass.
it at
No, he
20
was good
then.
for
That's
3
my
years,
All
but
point.
he
right,
kept
all right,
playing.
all right,
You're
Ralph.
not good enough to keep
Let
it
me
consistently
just
at
ask Ralph this question. Let me ask Ralph this question. Trace
Not
McGrady in
good
his
enough
prime,
coming from a man
would
that's
you
never stepped foot
think
on
that
an
in
NBA
his
court.
prime he would average less than 20 points a game?
Hold on, I couldn't hear you. Chad was talking over you.
Okay. Trace McGrady in his prime, do you think he would average less than 20 points a game?
No.
Vince Carter in
Not
his
in
prime,
prime.
would you think that he would average less than 16 points a game?
No.
Okay, so the averages do not show how
No,
great of a player you are. Simple as that.
But like the prime is only a small portion of your career.
That's not a small portion of your career.
Yes, it is.
That's at least 6 to 8 years, at least.
Yeah, when you compare it to a player that played 20 years, that is a small portion of their career.
22 years, though, man. Like,
Out of 22 years, he
think
has a
about that.
6-year prime. Yeah, that's a small portion.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
what
it's
y'all
a small
talk about
portion,
all the
but
time.
still, man, the average
Outside of
16
that, that
points,
means
the
he wasn't able to. He
to
wasn't
average,
able
still
to
average 16
sustain.
points over 22
Jesus
years and not
Christ.
starting all the games in those 22 years.
Yeah, Vince Carter
And
averaged over
still
20 points a
able to
game over
make an
10
NBA roster.
seasons. I don't understand what y'all talking about.
No, what I'm saying is like in his prime, I agree that he's going to score clearly over 20, but like
Okay, well that really
is a
means
small
that his
portion. What I'm
averages is
saying.
not who he is. His averages is not who
So
he is.
if he
No, it
if he
is
have
who he
6
is
prime
because
So you
years
never
out
saw
of
Vince
a
Carter
22
play.
year
You never
career,
saw
you telling
Vince
me
Carter
the 6
play. You
years
see
outweigh the
15 points
whole
a game. What kind of
17
player is
other
that?
years he didn't average 25?
Bro,
What, Craig? Craig, what you say?
I said, so you said for the 6 to 8 years when he averaging 25, that supersedes the other 15, 14 years he didn't?
I mean, that's the Jordan thing, ain't it? It
No.
only counts for 6
Okay.
years.
I said
All
for
right, so
career,
Craig,
he averaged
all
30
right,
for a career.
all
Y'all
right,
talking
all right,
about
so let me see
y'all
if I
talking
get
about games played.
And not even
I'm talking
1,100
about
games.
No.
What
I need to
would
see
it
if
have
I
been
get
like
this
at
straight.
1,500 games?
Hold on, let me see if I get this straight,
You think
Craig.
that
You're
man still would
saying,
average 30 if he played 1,400 games?
We
listen,
don't
hold
know.
on,
We don't know.
Hold on,
Mike,
listen,
Yes,
stop
we
with the
do.
hypotheticals.
The man
No,
that
we
had
don't.
30 game
Okay,
prime
y'all be
in
quiet
his
and let
7
Johnny
years.
say what he got to go across. Go ahead,
listen
Johnny.
to what I'm telling you, Craig. Your boy Gilbert Arenas averaged 21 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. You're telling me because of that number right there makes him a better
How
player
long
than
did he
Vince?
do it?
Doesn't matter. That's his career number. That's his average.
said it don't matter how many years.
You said the averages says
So he
how great of a
averaged
player
21
it is.
for a career.
He averaged 21 points per game, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds and 5 assists per game for his career. That is Gilbert Arenas' averages for his career. Vince Carter averaged 17, 3 assists. I'm sorry, 4 rebounds and 3 assists. So that means Gilbert Arenas is a better player than Vince Carter.
And Tracy McGrady,
Yeah,
because
unless you want to
Tracy
talk
McGrady
about
is less than that
accolades
too.
on what Vince Carter did. He would
We're
say
not talking
he
about
was
any
different.
accolades.
We're talking about the stats. We're saying the average.
All right, with no totals, right? With just the averages, no matter
The
how long they
averages. You're
played.
saying that Gilbert
If you
Arenas is
say-
better
if
than
you
Vince
show
Carter
me
and Tracy
someone who
McGrady.
averaged 20, if you show me someone who averaged 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, and someone show me 16 points, I'm gonna say the 21 had a better career.
We're not gonna name no names, Craig. We're not gonna name no names. I'm gonna give you totals and I'm gonna give you averages. We're just gonna do them separately. We're gonna just go off the
Because
numbers.
I know where this is going. I can have a counter.
We already know.
No.
We
I
got
just
you.
want to make sure you understand what you're saying. So the guy who averages 21, 4, and 5 is better than the guy that averages 17, 3, and 4. Correct?
No matter how long they play, no totals. That's if you tell me someone career 21 for, I'm gonna say the person who has 21. Now, if you give me he got this, he got MVPs and all that. If we're going by numbers, we gotta go by numbers.
Yeah, you're going by numbers. You're going by numbers. That's what you say. You go by numbers.
Yeah.
You said
averages, Craig.
Arenas is better than Vince Carter.
What happened?
Are you saying Gilbert Arenas is better than Vince Carter?
What do you mean if I'm saying better?
Are you saying Gilbert Arenas is better than Vince
based
Carter?
on the stats of him averaging, he had a better average career than Vince Carter.
Does that make him a better player?
Tracy
You
McGrady?
think that you say averages determine the player better than totals.
I said the averages determine how great a player was.
Yeah, how great a player was.
Over totals.
Yeah, he said the average.
How long you've been playing?
Yeah, how long you've been playing? Oh, so you're saying Gilbert Arenas is a better player than Tracy McGrady? Because he has better averages. Because he has better averages than Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, he got better averages than Tracy McGrady.
Oh, so
his averages is better than Tracy McGrady.
Does that make him a greater player then?
His averages is better than Tracy McGrady.
He said, yes. Answer the question. Does that make him a better player? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
Because we already know.
So you asking me based on the averages, is he a greater player?
Yes or no?
Based on averages? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he said yes. He's better than Vince Carter and Trace McGrady. Like he said it.
Based on averages. Not how long they played, not how many totals they had.
It's totals don't matter. It's averages.
I agree with you, Craig. Okay, now that's what you got. I got what you said. Now check this out, Craig. Gilbert Arenas has 11,000 points. He has 2,000 rebounds and 3,000 assists. Vince Carter has 25,000 points, 6,000 rebounds, 4,700 assists. So what you're saying is that Gilbert Arenas is a greater player than Vince Carter, but Vince Carter just played longer. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay. Hey Johnny,
because we can McGrady. Also
go to Tracy McGrady now. Let me hear Tracy McGrady because. Go to Tracy McGrady.
We can say the same thing. Like we can say the same thing. Would you say that Robert Parrish is better than Elgin Baylor?
We about to do our top 50 list, and Robert Parrish probably won't be better than Elgin Baylor because he doesn't have better numbers than Elgin Baylor. Y'all keep bringing up.
But Robert Parrish got more total points than Elgin Baylor.
No, but that's just in points. Does he have all numbers? I'm saying we're gonna bring up all these. Is he gonna have more rebounds than him?
Robert Parrish is a great player. Robert Parrish is a great player. But anyway, Johnny,
that's not the question, Brandon. I didn't say Robert Parrish wasn't a great player.
I'm saying he's a very great player.
I'm not saying he's not a great player.
About what he averaged at year 38 and what Jordan averaged at year 38, and y'all told me that was a better season. But if you look at
the season, that's a season, Craig. We're talking season.
You're not saying career.
We're talking career now, Craig.
Okay, I want to hear Tracy McGrady so bad.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Tracy McGrady averaged 19.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists, which I believe Gilbert Arenas was better than. Because Gilbert Arenas averaged more assists and less rebounds. Yeah. And he averaged more points.
Because Elgin averaged more points and rebounds than Robert Parrish. That's why I asked that.
No, I got you there. on that, Ralph. But if you go look at Elgin Baylor's numbers, and I got him here, Elgin Baylor has over for like 15,000 rebounds. He has over 20-something thousand.
He doesn't have more than Parrish.
Yeah, he doesn't have more than Parrish. I don't believe. I don't think so. I could be wrong.
Robert Parrish has 14,000 rebounds and 23,000 points. Elgin Baylor has more points than him, and I believe Elgin Baylor has more rebounds.
Yeah, he got more rebounds. I don't know what y'all talking about. He has more. The only thing he has less is titles.
I'm telling you, this is what we do. I keep telling y'all, welcome to GOAT James Kingdom. This is what we do. This ain't TikTok lives, Ralph. Hold on.
Wait.
We use numbers. Like I always told you, we use numbers.
Elgin Baylor.
Elgin Baylor has 11,000, so he has less rebounds. But let's see here. He has
less rebounds and less points. But Elgin averaged more points and rebounds than Robert.
Okay, yeah, he does have less points by a couple of hundred. But he has more assists, right? And we go to playoffs too. We can go to that too because he also has that too. That's what I'm trying to say to you. And mind you, we never told y'all that we don't count averages. We just told y'all totals tell you who's the greater player. Obviously, the totals tell you Rob Parrish is a great player, and the totals tell you that Elgin Baylor is a great player. Robert Parrish's averages don't tell you he's a great player. His averages is 14-9. That's not a great player.
It's not. Pippen is 16-5. That's a great player.
No, because of Pippen's totals.
He don't got more rebounds than Parrish or points.
I keep saying we go by averages. Why y'all keep saying we go by averages? I don't understand this.
Listen, Scottie Pippen's totals make him great. All these guys that we're talking about, their totals tell you how great they are. If you go to Gilbert Arenas, his totals are not great, so he's not a great player. He averages that because he played less games. He only played 500 games.
And he was great for those 500 games. How long do a player supposed to be before you start taking into consideration that they was a good player? Don't you say the average NBA player only has 4 years?
All right, Craig. Gilbert Arenas averaged more points and more assists than Scottie Pippen. Are you saying that Gilbert Arenas is better than Scottie Pippen too?
What do you mean?
Are you saying that Gilbert Arenas is better than Scottie Pippen too?
Skill.
Are you saying that?
Skill wise, Pippen was just a great defender, and he don't have no stats really on that.
So you're saying Gilbert Arenas is better than Scottie Pippen?
Yep.
Okay.
That's why, like with the stats, it's just only it's a small portion of their career. You got to also count the accolades.
Yeah, because that's all we see.
That's where it goes off. That's where they fall off. That's where they.
You don't look at nothing but averages. So totals don't mean anything. So averages tell you who the greater player is. That's just,
you got to
it's pretty hilarious.
You got to take both into consideration. I mean, you really do. Got to take both into consideration, Craig. You know, you want to talk about Gilbert Arenas was great for those 500 games. You don't think that Vince Carter doesn't have 500 games better than what he did?
We didn't compare Vince Carter.
You compare Vince Carter his whole career.
How about the stats?
Yeah, because the totals means you just play longer.
Exactly.
Am I right?
That's what he said.
Gilbert Arenas only played 500 games, right?
Yeah.
Right? So you're telling me that out of all the games that Vince Carter played, that he couldn't come up with 500 games better than Gilbert Arenas?
That's what he's saying.
Hey,
that's what I'm gonna say by Vince Carter playing more of those games and everything, it really hurt his longevity. It did hurt it because everything that went down. No, I said by him playing, it did hurt him on the average side.
How someone go from 25 points per game to 16?
No, yeah, okay, Ralph, you're right, Ralph. That's what we're trying to tell you. So it's the same thing like this. When you have a shorter career, it hurts you in the totals, and when you have a longer career, it hurts you in the average. So both of them have an advantage and a disadvantage. But at the end of the day, you can't say totals. You can't say
the fact that LeBron James is year 21, still over 27 points a game. Like,
here's my thing.
Here's my thing. You both there.
Go ahead.
Here's my thing. I don't say, oh, totals outweigh the averages and the averages outweigh the totals. I don't do that. I put them on the same scale.
Because you have
to count both of them because that's what they accomplish, and you have to decide who's the better player based on both of them.
Here, I'll put a little bow on it.
Hey, Craig, for a career, Gilbert Arenas averaged more points, assists, and steals than Tim Duncan.
That's nasty. So I'll put a little bow on it for you.
Oh my goodness!
That's a different position. That's nasty.
Now, what you're going to tell me is Duncan is a 5-time NBA champion, 3.
Okay. Now other stuff matters. Now other stuff matters. Okay. What
he did say that.
Please matter.
He did say that.
If I tell you that the whole thing better than Duncan,
Craig did say that. Craig did say that.
The conversation
you
was
just said that.
No, I'm saying if I would say Gilbert Arenas is better than Duncan,
the stats say Gilbert Arenas is better than Duncan, right?
What? He said based off
Gilbert
stats.
Arenas is better than Duncan, right?
Based on stats, yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So, but okay, we just went off of just the per averages and
because all I see in your memes is stats.
The 5 major categories.
Because stats. Listen, Craig. If we gave you Tim Duncan's averages, you're gonna say that Arenas is the greater player. And if we gave you the totals, what are you gonna say? The totals mean he just played longer, right? That Tim Duncan just played longer. It doesn't mean he's greater, correct?
He just played longer.
No, so Tim Duncan's totals don't make him greater than Arenas.
Well, his totals?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. No, it does.
We already know, Ralph. But
thank you.
As we go on and on, Craig is flip-flopping.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Ralph.
Now, averages don't mean you're a better player.
No, what we're all no.
Now, averages don't mean you're a better player.
I said averages mean how good you played. The totals tell you how long you played.
No, that's what I said. How great you are, Craig.
How?
Hold on. Totals determines how great you was for that time of period. Let's use more of an
no, that's what averages is. That's what averages is. That's what
Tell us
averages.
how great
Averages
you are
tells
for a
what your
career.
period of time.
Okay, Craig, let me help you out a little bit, Craig. Okay, I'll put a bill on it
Help
for
him,
you.
help him, Travis, help him.
All right,
Help him.
so I'm going to have his back a little bit. So everything with massive amounts of context is almost with any sport, but especially NBA. Everything matters. Totals are a reflection of consistency more often than not. I've always said LeBron is the most consistent player statistically that I've ever seen. Ever. Yeah. Even Kareem went downhill. Obviously, his last 6-7 years in Los Angeles, you saw his totals dip or averages dip drastically. But yeah, I don't think that averages are the end all be all for any player, especially Vince Carter. You pull up his resume, he had about 5 or 6 years where he was clearly one of the top 4 or 5 players in the NBA. Same thing with most of the greats that we talk about. Does Dwayne Wade has better totals than Larry Bird, but that doesn't mean he's a better player than Larry Bird. He hasn't beat on everything but rebounds. Larry Bird is clearly a better player.
Point. Y'all keep saying a 6-year prime.
No, but hold on.
He was this great,
So,
but then with Jordan 6-0, he only played 6 seasons.
No, but hold on.
So
here's the thing, though, Craig.
Dictate a player's
So
prime
the average
over the whole
hold on.
career. 6
I got
years
your back.
out of that's 16. What happened to the other 16?
Sure.
Hold on, Craig. Let Travis finish.
We be trying to find out what happened to Jordan the other 9 years. But go ahead, Travis.
Travis trying to help you, Craig. Listen to him. He's trying to help you.
So, Greg, so basically the average player, again, since the NBA's inception, the average length or career length is only 4.5 years. So anything beyond that is objectively a form of longevity. Now, then when you get to really the only players that we seriously discuss, like top 4 or 5 or 6, whatever, you generally see a mix of both. There are exceptions like Larry and Magic to a degree, but you see people who sustain greatness or had just hugely dominant peaks. Are a mix of both. Obviously, you got to have the accolades. It's a huge amalgam. That's why we can't judge players.
Why is Magic ranked higher than Duncan? And
because he had a better overall career than
I got Duncan higher. I got Duncan higher than Magic.
To be fair, I have Duncan as a player I would take before Magic just because he was one of the most dominant defensive players in history. Magic wasn't. But Magic also had arguably a better impact on the game, arguably. But there's eras.
Things like this. 9 finals in 11 years.
Yeah, Magic.
Wow. Right?
Yeah, but also, correct. And then Tim Duncan, though, didn't play with the top 5 players of all time.
You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this because the argument started with Vince Carter. We're going to do this because Travis mentioned it and so did Bill. Vince Carter, I took 2000 to 2007. Vince Carter played 571 games, and that Gilbert Arenas played in his career 552 games. And those 571 games between 2000 and 2007, Vince Carter averaged 24.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. And that's just shutting it down to a 500 game.
And the totals would be higher.
Is that from his beginning of his career? That's Vince's first year.
No, that he was drafted in '98, so I didn't put his rookie year. But his rookie year he averaged 18. So
start from his rookie year all the way up to that 500 something.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Brandon, I want to get your take on this, man.
And keep it fair because Gilbert's first year was his rookie year as well. So just keep it fair.
Okay,
of course, I mean Vince is probably still going to be higher.
It's going listen, but now it's 539 games for Vince Carter, and it's from 1999 to 2006. He averages 24 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and 4 assists.
So another example here is Karl Malone versus Tim Duncan. Karl Malone has better point or averages and totals, but we still say Duncan is the best, right?
Yeah.
So why is that? Accolades.
Because it's accolades.
That's my point.
No. Because it's because of the total career. You have to add Tim Duncan. Karl Malone is not that far behind. If Karl Malone has 2 or 3 championships, he's right there with Tim Duncan. He's missing championships. That's all he's missing. It's hard.
And we have never said that LeBron is better than anybody because of his total stats. We have never said that. We said because of his career.
You just put up a meme.
No, we just put up we put up a meme to show you that he's not chasing anything. If we go to the accolades, he's not chasing anything neither. He doesn't need another championship. He
No, I
doesn't need
agree.
another All
I
NBA
would just.
selection. He doesn't need an All-Star selection. He doesn't need another Player of the Month, another Player.
Oh,
He
I
don't need
agree.
none
I
of
was
it.
just trying to juxtapose like the point where there's context to everything. Yes, like we all know Duncan is the greatest power forward of all time. And yes, it's because of his impact, his domination, total career. But if we just use something out of context, like, hey, this guy had more averages and total, but he didn't have the impact. He didn't have even half of the defensive accolades. He didn't have the rings. And it's all a huge picture. And so that's why we have to, take everything with a grain of salt when we do that.
Point.
Yeah, Craig is the one who said the averages shows how better a player you are. That's what Craig said.
Piece of the
We
puzzle,
said that
Craig.
was
Piece of
false.
the puzzle.
Well,
He
look,
said that was
okay,
false.
wait. Here you go. This is very funny about the Karl Malone. You just brought up Karl Malone and Tim Duncan. Karl Malone averages more points. Tim Duncan averages more rebounds. Karl Malone averages more assists. Tim Duncan averages more blocks, and Karl Malone averages more steals. So
And
how
Tim
much
Duncan
better is
played
Tim
center
Duncan?
majority of his career, and Karl Malone played power forward his whole career.
And if we go to the totals, Tim Duncan has less points, but Tim Duncan has more rebounds. Tim Duncan has less assists. He has less steals, and he has more blocks. Tim Duncan has 2 MVPs, so does Karl Malone. But the difference is Tim Duncan has 15 all-defensive teams to 4 all-defensive selections.
That's where
Like I said, Karl Malone's not going to be that far behind. Karl Malone is not going to be that far behind.
Well, where the distance comes into play is when you start counting those rings, the Finals MVPs, they're all. That's where it becomes a gap. I mean, I agree. When those first stuff that you mentioned, no, I said Finals MVPs.
Yeah.
It's like they're very close. It's like a race.
Get to the playoffs.
It's like that race. You're
playoffs.
running at the same pace, but once you start, is one person is gonna gain more momentum and start pulling away. That's really what it is.
Yes,
it's like when you start from the beginning, they're very identical, but once you start getting more into details, that's when Tim Duncan start pulling away to where he's better.
And if we go to the playoffs, like Chad just mentioned, right? The averages are the same. They both have the same averages as the regular season as far as the advantages. But then if we go to the totals, Tim Duncan has more points, more rebounds, more assists, more blocks, and he has less steals.
You know what's crazy is that there's so many players that we talk about, and I mean this is actually a compliment for LeBron. There's so many players that we talk about where they just had. You look down, like specifically David Robinson. You look at his career, like in his mid-90s, especially, where he was just dominating the MVP. Yeah, arguably the best two-way player, arguably in history. Like from just a statistical and dominance progression that time, but then you see a huge dip. You never really see that with LeBron, because he's been that way, consistent through basically his entire career. And you see a lot of these other players, great peaks, form of longevity, but then there's a sharp decline for either fatigue or injury or both. Not necessarily laziness or their fault, but it happens. And he's been able to avoid that and be consistent. And I mean, that's what I've always said about him from a non-biased point of view. But I'd say that's one point that he has above most players we talk about. Every player.
Because I believe that's true. Because LeBron is, he's so versatile. He just do not do one thing.
Yeah.
He could go out there and do multiple things. Like that's why Kobe and Jordan kind of declined at the end. Jordan was, he was all older at least, but still, like, because he did one thing, he just scored the ball. LeBron does so many different things on the court. He creates so many different mismatches. So that's why LeBron is continue to perform like he do, because he's the only one that could do multiple things on the court. No one could do what LeBron James does on the court.
I'd say Bird did what he did on the court.
I mean, the last 2 years, 30 and 29 points, man. In year 19 and year 20, 30 points a game.
Oh, those averages now, huh?
29 points a game.
Impressive. It's impressive. I mean, I don't think there's anyone.
I mean, we're talking about our seasons. We're talking about seasons. That don't even make any sense. We're talking about seasons.
Hey,
You count totals and seasons as
You
well.
do averages for seasons. You don't do totals for
all I
seasons.
know
That
is you
doesn't
You
don't
can
make
get
any
do
a.
sense.
totals and seasons too. Now
Rob, the
they
only
do have
totals
that.
in seasons, Rob, the only totals in seasons that matter is 200 steals and 100 blocks. That's the only things that
Nah,
Yep,
matter.
that's it.
nah.
You give
I
me,
mean,
give me
that's a major
Kobe's.
feat, but like I mean, we go by seasons and total. Jordan led the league in totals 11 times.
Dude, give me
Oh, we know that.
Kobe's 2013 season over everyone.
Rob, how many times we told you guys Jordan has longevity?
I don't, and how many times I didn't disagree with you.
That's what I'm saying. We always say that.
I mean,
We've always said Jordan has longevity. Y'all act like
Yeah,
Jordan's
Elgin Baylor
32,000
only
points
played
don't
Anything
matter.
a little
after the
over
average year
800
of a
games.
career is
I-
I mean,
longevity, whether it's
and
6
I've
years
always,
or
longevity.
7
I've
years.
always
It's
said that LeBron
longevity.
has the
Y'all
best
just think
longevity
I'm just
career.
referring about LeBron. It's everybody.
No, it's not
Y'all
everybody.
just take it that it's only about LeBron. The
Craig,
average NBA season is 4 years. So if you play a 5th year, that's longevity.
Craig, only less than 150 players in NBA history has played over 1,000 games in their career, and Michael Jordan is a part of that less than 150. That is super longevity. That's longevity,
I
my
just
friend.
literally said everybody after the
Not super longevity. It's only 72 games over that 1,000. Don't do that. He said super. You stretched it with the
No,
super,
I
bro.
mean the
If it's
most games.
1,000 of players and only 100 players played more than Jordan, that's still a lot.
No, I'm just
I
saying.
mean,
He said
Wilt
super
only
like
played
he cleared
1,045.
it by several hundred games.
Yeah, because
That's what I'm like.
I'm comparing 140 to 45, 100.
No, he does have longevity. I never disagreed with that.
I mean, now if you want to compare it to 1,600 games, right? You're right? 1072 to 1611, which is the most games played, is a big difference. That's 500 more games. Or 6 was wow.
Then they're a decade worth of games seasons.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now I get you there. And that's Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish has the most games played in his NBA career.
It sounds like he played
And
in
Jordan
22
still took
straight
more
playoff
shots than
series,
he did.
going game 7 in every playoff round.
So to be fair with you, Ralph, Jordan is 105th in games played in NBA history.
Yeah, I know.
That's a lot of
But
games.
I just say you stretched it with the super, like he cleared it like crazy. That's what I'm saying.
So from 99 on, you're super. If you're in the top 100, you have a super longevity career. That's 170. That's 1077. That's 5 more games than Jordan.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy, man. Listen, y'all. At the end of the day, though, y'all in trouble because I think LeBron James is gonna play 70 games this year.
No way.
He didn't get a surgery yet. I don't know.
I think he's going to be more of a mentor.
He didn't even get a surgery yet. I don't know.
He don't need it. He's the GOAT. He don't need it. He went to the foot.
Nah, he gonna need that surgery. Yes, he will.
What was the doctor he went to? The doctor of the foot of LeBron. What he said? The foot of LeBron.
Unless he was capping on his injury. That's the only way. That's the only reason why he would play that. He gonna need that surgery, man. Cause like all those games, somebody gonna step on his foot.
But isn't it the bottom of his foot?
Right?
Isn't it the tendon underneath?
It's a tendon in his foot.
But I'm saying, is it the one? Is it like on the top, in between? Is it like on the bottom?
It's on the top.
It's on the top. Okay, so
I
somebody.
have no idea.
But I mean, I think he's gonna be healed, right? The season starts in October, or whatever. Training camp starts in October, and
no, it needs surgery. He tore it. He needs surgery on that thing.
Sometimes tendons do not need surgery, so it just depends if he just needs rest.
He just needs rest.
Well, no, the doctor said they said that like when it first happened, it needed surgery.
It probably needed surgery back then, but who knows how much rest he could get before it heals. So
yeah,
we don't know.
I mean, that's true, but
I had a torn tendon in my ankle, and I just had to rest for it to heal.
Yep.
Was it
I don't think he'll play so many games. LeBron will play. I'd say he'll play probably like 60, but it depends how they're doing. Also, if they're like struggling, like no chance of playoffs. He's not going to get in there because he's only played 82 games one time. That was 2018. He only played at least 70 games 5 times. But I mean,
I agree with you. I think it matters because if they're way out of it, he ain't
Yeah.
going to. And if they pretty much got a lock, then he may back it off too.
yeah, it
You know,
depends.
LeBron James
it
gonna play
depends
as
on
many
if
games
they
he want to
if
play.
it was
Depends how the
like
role
this
players are
past
doing.
year. Yeah, like I
Yeah,
say,
like
it depends on where they're at. If they're out of it, he's out. And if they're
I want to see what Rui
dominating,
does
then
this year. Honestly,
Brian played over 70 games 13 times his career, not 5.
Who said 5?
what did I say? 5?
Travis. Yeah.
I'm looking at this bullshit right now. Then.
Try to stop it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was right. They come on.
He
Yeah.
hasn't played 60
about,
games.
man.
He hasn't played 60 games since 2000.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, 60 games. So he's in here. Okay.
He's played an
Yeah.
average of 50-something games in the last 3 years. That's his average. But I think this year he's going to be healthier. I think he sees because they were close, man. They were close. I know they got swept, but they were still in the Western Conference Finals after starting to 2-11, 2-13, 3-13, something like that. So
Like 13 at one point.
and they're bringing back those players that they had, and they added some more pieces to them. It's a second year for Darvin Ham.
You know, we're all just gonna be watching the Suns, though, right? Come on.
They got no
We'll
defense.
see. Yeah, I agree. I don't think they have a bench either.
There'll be a high seed.
well,
but
they signed Eric Gordon. I know they got him on the squad
He's
now.
still in the league. What the hell?
Yeah, he's still chugging along.
Messi-
Regular season
We're
is
gonna play
different.
45
Once you get to the playoffs, it's going to be different. Once you get to the playoffs, so
Yeah.
regular season they might do well.
I still see Denver repeating if they stay healthy.
Who y'all think gonna win that tournament?
It's gonna be like it's not gonna be a
When is
top
that tournament?
team, but it's
Anyone-
not gonna be a horrible team. It's gonna be a team that's like in the middle.
Anyone want to go?
Like
to
Utah
Vegas
last
tournament?
year
Let's
started
go.
like
out
that.
as number 1. So if Utah would have won this tournament last season. So like Craig said, it don't really matter too much.
No, I'm with you and Johnny. I think that there needs to be like something to attach to a like playoff.
Yes, then you can get
Yeah,
a
with
bye
playoffs
in the
attached to it,
playoffs.
it'd be different.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
seeding,
The
yeah,
winner
something
get
like
an
that.
automatic bye to the second
But then
round.
again, if
At least the
they did
tiebreaker.
that,
At least the tiebreaker.
if they did that, then it's like they don't really have to try that hard to get a playoff spot.
Well, I mean, it's a full tournament.
Mid-season.
but-
Yeah, it has to be sometime mid-season because if it's
Yeah.
the first part of the season, like
Yeah.
why would you for the rest of the season?
all they got to do is have the team that win it start talking crap, and that would make it good enough. That's it.
I was actually speaking of Gilbert.
That's it.
I was watching this thing, and he was talking about what was it a good idea? If you think about it, is if you're the worst team in the league, you get the 5th pick at best. That way, you have to play so you don't be the worst team in the league to go for to have the better chance for the number
You
1
make
pick.
the playoffs by having the best record in the season. The season matters. The end season tournament is for the players to show out for fans, and the team that wins it could talk crap throughout the season, and it would make other teams say, you know what, we're gonna beat you next time we get into the end tournament season. Because Brandon, you played basketball, right? You said you had your high school games, right? But then you would play in tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Those tournaments
Yeah,
matter, right? When you
college
played
too.
those, you were
college.
anxious to play in those tournaments, right? You knew when it was coming up. If you lost it the year before, you're right. You was like, you know what, I want to win it this time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
know that's going to be different with pros.
Mhm.
Like pros, they accomplish so much that's not going to be any motivation for them.
They
But
playing
I
for
really,
500K.
yeah,
That's
I really
that's
think-
money.
I really think it should be mid-season, and the championship game should be during the All-Star game. That's when it would mean something.
Well, what
And
if
also,
it
it might
has-
boost
that
up
means
ratings.
You can't play in the
Yeah.
All-Star team. Then
It'll
You
boost
gotta-
up ratings for that All-Star weekend as well. Too.
Nobody played an All-Star game anyway, but it should be on like a
Well,
Saturday,
it's not East
and then
versus West anymore.
yeah, like
I miss
like
those
the
days.
All-Star game went down the tank. It's like the NFL Pro Bowl now.
Yeah,
flag
I
football?
miss that, man.
The Pro Bowl
You couldn't tell. You couldn't find 10 people that was good on the East and 10 people that was good on the West to make an East versus West All-Star game.
Yes, you can. But
There's
the
not
thing of it
there's
is
not 20 good players.
I mean,
popularity.
that's not why they did it. They did it because nobody was watching the games or paying attention to the game, so they thought they would change things up, and
So
they
all the
still
people that
playing the
voted
same way.
that vote
They still
for the
playing the same
Rock,
way.
they don't watch it.
Yeah.
You
They
just
wanted to
voted
make it
on
more of a
It's a
pickup game.
popularity contest,
Yeah,
Craig.
yeah, yeah.
They made it
It's
more of a
not
pickup
like
game.
it matters, and
I
it
don't
don't
even
matter to the
watch it.
NBA. Like
I
it
don't
was
watch the
actually
All-Star
good
game.
for a couple of years because it went down to the last shot, like a couple of years in a row. But then
I
after
mean,
that,
this year went
no
to the
one's playing
last
hard
shot.
no more.
Yep.
But they
And I
changed
mean,
it.
it's
But
like, why are you going to play hard when you can just get injured and it doesn't
And
mean
LeBron
anything?
is undefeated.
But
Right. It's popularity
It's
contest.
it's more so pickup because you get a certain amount of points and then you go to the next one.
Yeah,
That's
too much.
trash, man.
Yeah, I don't
That's
like that.
horrible.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. You're right, Ralph. I don't like that. I
They
hate
need
that.
to play it like an actual game, you know?
yeah, like quarter shit, it's like stupid.
That was terrible.
Yeah,
That
they
was
shouldn't-
just
they
that was
shouldn't
just as
revamped
bad
it.
and
Go ahead, Ralph.
that
I'm
was
sorry.
just as bad as like when they did that All-Star game. I mean, the Duncan contest one year when they had the wheel. They spun the wheel and they had to mimic a dunk from like Dr. J or so. That was
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, the NBA has some terrible ideas in the All-Star weekend to try to boost ratings. Like they're terrible.
Johnny,
hmm
really quick, this is sort of off topic, but I've been wanting to ask you this question for probably like a week. Who had the greatest season that did not win MVP, in your opinion? Snubbed MVP. And it's not a trick question or anything. I didn't even
No,
have
no,
an
I
That's
know,
opinion.
I
tough.
know, I know. And listen, I don't care if it was. I'm gonna stand 10 toes down. You know me.
That's tough.
That is tough, man. Because you know, I always tell people we don't remember what we ate last week. So now you trying to make me remember, you know, some seasons where some guys were really snubbed.
Wilt,
I believe
61.
Shaq was and snubbed in 05. That was to me that was one of the biggest
05?
snubs to me because what
Yeah,
because of what the MVP means. It's about winning, right? It's your stats can be all of that. Shaq literally went from from Lakers to Miami and completely changed the whole dynamic of the league. Like changed everything and it still balled out. And the Heat won more games. I think we won close to 60 games after winning like 41 games. We almost won like 20 plus more games because of Shaq.
But didn't y'all add a bunch of pieces as well, like Gary Payton?
No, Gary Payton came the year after that. Gary Payton. We did add Antoine Walker.
Jason Williams.
No. Jason Williams.
Was Jason Williams on that team?
No, Jason Williams wasn't on that team either. All those guys came.
Well, yeah, you said 05?
05. We had Zoe came in 05, and I think Antoine Walker came in 05. And then we got Jason Williams.
Zoe been there, right?
No. Zoe
he left and we went to the Nets. He was with the Nets.
Oh yeah, he went to the Nets for like half a season or something.
Because he had that like heart
that kidney
problem
thing.
at first. Yeah, something like that.
Because the Heat had to trade a lot of players to get Shaq. We had to trade Karan Butler. We had to change Odom and some other pieces to get
Grant
Shaq.
Williams.
So we had to we did have to add some pieces to it. So I do remember getting Zoe back. If I'm correct, Antoine Walker was on that team. But still, Shaq was the man. And Dwayne Wade tore his shoulder against Detroit, and that's how Detroit went on to the
Y'all won 59 games that year.
Exactly. But the year before that, what was it? 41, 42?
42.
Exactly. So Shaq basically
because
that's a lot. That's a big difference. So when you talk about the MVP, right? Because it's usually your winning impact. I think we were the number 1 seed, the 2 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Grant. Y'all traded Brian Grant that year as well.
Brian Grant, Lamar Odom,
and
Karan Butler. All of them. We traded all of them.
Yeah, different. Your team was different the next year.
Yeah, I mean that's a great pick. I've always said it's personal opinion, even more than 06 Kobe. I said 2013 Kobe, where maybe the most injury plagued roster of all time, where they supposedly had the super team. And this was like year 17 Kobe.
Okay.
When he averaged 27, 5 and 6, and he carried them to the playoffs with like no help at all.
That was when they had Nash, right? They had Nash.
40-year-old Nash with like a broken back and like dead.
So are you saying he should have won over LeBron that year?
I mean, hey man, if you take into consideration the conference they were in, his teammates, there's a good argument for Kobe. I'm not saying that he had overall better stats, but I mean the situation, I would have thrown maybe a consideration or two.
No, I don't think that's close. But are you just talking about like of the MVP, like of all time who got snubbed? Of all time?
Any player.
Oh, well, Will averaged 50 and 25.
That's what I'm saying. Will in 62.
That's another one too. You can say that one too.
I mean, that's
easy.
That's the biggest snub in sports history when you average 50 and 25.
And a person that averaged what, 17 and 20?
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
Nice defense.
But they say Bill Russell was a better defender than Will was a better offensive player.
The Celtics had that was one of the best Celtics teams that year. That 62 Celtics team was one of the best teams. And they won like 60 something games, and Will didn't win that many games. I think Will won like something like 40 something, 50 something.
No, I believe they won 50 games, something like that.
Yeah, something in the low 50s or late. But that Laker team you're talking about, Travis, they only won 45 games.
No, exactly. I know. I don't think they would have sniffed 15 though without Kobe.
Yeah, but we all know the MVP is attached to winning. You can have a balling season, but it has to be attached to winning.
That's why after Westbrook with a 6 seed won it. That's why he went and redid the analytics.
Jokic won it with a 6 team too.
Who won it?
6 seed
without even making
Jokic won it when he was a 6 seed too, I believe.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Kareem won.
They still thought he was the most.
Then Kareem won without playing in the playoffs, right? You said that, right, Ralph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't even make the playoffs and he won it.
Yeah, but that was when the players were voting though for it. So
I mean, you got a couple of years like LeBron could have won it in
11 and 18.
Yeah, I thought 18 too.
I want to say, what was it? I want to say it was a 05. I want to say it was 05. I want to say. No, it wasn't 05. I think it was 06.
I think you're talking 06. I think that's when he won the scoring title.
Nah, LeBron had a case in 06 as well.
Like Brandon said, LeBron should have 8-9 MVPs. Him and Jordan.
Like, he could have won in 06. He could have won in 06. No, LeBron could have won in 06. Kobe had a case as well. Because if you look at it,
Kobe got brutally robbed.
LeBron actually led the league in VORT that year, along with averaging he averaged 31, 7 and 7 with almost 2 steals and a block. I mean, he had a good year that year to where he could have got it as well. I mean, it's a lot of players
games, right? They won 48 games, 53 games. What was it?
I can't remember.
06?
Yeah, no,
06. 06.
I know they were like the 4th seed or something like that.
Yep.
They won like 47 games.
Yeah, so he had a case as well. I mean, Jordan had a case as well in his in those times when Magic. I think it was one year when Magic won. I think 1990. I want to say 90.
90.
No.
90.
90. He could have got that. He came in 3rd place behind Magic and Charles Barkley,
which is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's a lot of players.
They look at the records. They look at the records more than anything else.
Look at 87.
They literally said we couldn't keep giving LeBron a damn MVP.
That's why I was surprised. Jordan should have won in 97. Jordan should have won in 97, but Karl Malone should have won in 98. So it kind of that kind of like evened it out. Same thing with Joker and Embiid.
That's just exactly. I was getting ready to say that. That was the same thing. I think they were like, "Oh, we made a mistake, so we just gonna."
That's why I hope they take the voting for the MVP and kind of put it back, not necessarily with the players, but I hope they mix it up a little bit so that different, more variety. It's like
they should have the players vote,
more
and then
analytics
at the end,
based.
they take the top 5 players that the fans voted, and the media will vote on those players that the players voted on.
And I believe it actually should be the players, coaches, and the media. Like they all should have a say in who gets awards.
They should have something that they have to vote on, criteria wise too, though. They can't here's his stats, here's the winning, here's the context of his team. And there should be a pool, but they shouldn't just be able to randomly grab somebody.
Yeah,
I think they like it. Go ahead, Chad.
KD winning MVP on those Warriors teams. I mean,
yeah.
Who you think MVP though is more significant to their career?
Recently?
No, just in general, in history. Who has it? Which MVP season is significant toward their career? You can just say like that MVP stands out more than anybody else's MVP for their career.
I want to say
like who had the best season in
Duncan's
history?
second one. Duncan's second one.
Probably Jordan's 88.
Jordan's 88 is hard to argue with.
That's a good one.
Hakeem 95.
Oh, this is funny.
Or 94. Yeah.
Jordan's 1988 season is the most significant because that's all they talk about.
That's nasty.
I mean, if he would have won it when he averaged 50, then that would be it.
What about Robinson's 95?
Duncan is a good one, Rob. 2003 Duncan is a good one. I was thinking 2001 Iverson.
94 Hakeem.
Yeah, Iverson and Jordan. Those are the two that's most talked about of MVP.
And forget what anybody say. 87 Magic and 86.
Nobody really talk about that. Nobody really talk about
that.
I
don't talk about that. I'm just saying. Just
well,
for us. Yeah.
I have to go back. I have to say that 2002 Duncan. That one was crazy.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be kid, but
he went crazy in that
his
year.
wife, so he ain't give it to him.
There's a 2000 Shaq.
Yeah, that was crazy.
MVP
that was a crazy year too. That was a crazy.
Because like, when you think about, they only have like one. Those guys only have one. Guys who have multiple ones, you can, it's like when you really think about Barkley having one, Shaq having one, Kobe having one, Iverson just having that one, Harden having just that one, Westbrook, they just have that one to help just solidify their career.
Yeah, I think 2002 should have been Kid. I believe that's the year it should have been Kid. Or was it 03? One of the years that he led them to the finals, it should have been Kid, but they voted for Duncan. But they voted for Duncan.
He went back to the finals. Again, he got swept by the Lakers, and then he lost in 6 against the Spurs the following year.
I believe it was 2002. I believe that should have been Kid. But
I said the same. Remember, that's the thing with him and his wife, and he got domestic abuse. It was like, you know what? We is not giving you this MVP.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he had a domestic
charge. Yeah.
Well, Jason Kidd,
he had like 2.
Oh
yeah.
Well, you talking about Jason Kidd, right?
Yeah, Jason Kidd.
I remember that too.
Jason Kidd
Penny went through that too. Penny went through that too with Tyra Banks. With Tyra Banks.
Kobe could have won it 03, but he was going through that stuff in Colorado. But
yeah, 03 was a good chance. That was a good race. Oh, you're talking about 03's race for the MVP.
That was a good race.
That was a good race.
I think.
Yeah, I don't think Kobe would. I don't think Kobe would have ever won MVP with Shaq.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
but that was Shaq.
There's no way.
Arguably a better year than Shaq in 03.
Yeah,
but the thing is, you having two of the top 5 players on the same team now. I couldn't see Kobe getting one like at that time.
It's tough. Like
I know people saying LeBron wasn't going to win it with Wade, but that's when Wade was like going down when LeBron was winning it. So that's the only reason LeBron won it.
Shaq's 2000 MVP might be significant in the fact that it was historically dominant, and also at that time, I think people were saying, "Oh, he's been in the league 8 years. Like, what's he done? He can't, cash in. He's lost, the loss. But he won that, and he, obviously took it all the way. And so I think that maybe validated him position-wise in like the ranks.
He said 2000. That would make his career. He finally got that monkey off the back and got that chip.
1,000%.
He started to play relax.
I got a
question.
question.
When they went 15-1.
What would you say? I got a question for everybody on the panel. What would you say is the best playoff run that won the championship? Who would you say?
Lakers.
Lakers.
As a team or
no? I'm talking about as a player.
Oh.
Probably the Dallas Mavericks, man.
Player, Chad.
Oh.
A player.
That's
Again, Dirk, man, was on fire, dude. When he hit like 47 straight free throws through that whole playoffs.
Wow, that's a tough. I mean, that Shaq run in 2000.
Trying to look at one player.
That Shaq run in 2000. I think he averaged 30 something.
Shaq was more dominant than Duncan, but not Duncan, Dirk, but Dirk had the most impactful playoff run.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Because he beat everybody.
He did.
He beat all the top players.
You could say that.
But still.
I mean, dude, Dirk was on a magical run, man. Like, it's just.
I would say.
There's no wrong answer, but I mean, just as far as like.
06 Wade.
Wait, was it that 03? The 03.
Mm-hmm.
The 03 where he hit that shot.
Right? I know exactly what you're talking. Yep. That's my pick, Johnny. I'm right there with you.
Because I remember that because they beat the Lakers that year. I don't know who else they beat, but I know they beat some tough teams that the opponent. And I mean, obviously they beat the Nets, but I remember that was that time Tim Duncan hit that shot after Shaq hit a shot, and then Tim Duncan hit it. That wasn't the Fisher year because I think the next year was the Fisher year.
Next year was the Fisher.
Fisher.
The Fisher shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's been some great runs, man.
He played Phoenix. He played Phoenix, LA, Dallas, and then played. Yeah.
I mean,
Duncan was on a tear. He was on a tear throughout that playoffs. I mean,
say what you want. That 2012 LeBron run was good too.
Yeah, I'm trying to see like who was dominant from first round to finals, other than LeBron and Jordan. Kobe did it in 09.
Kobe in 09.
We can't say LeBron or Jordan in any of these questions. What about
Not really, because that's what they were. They were no one was as dominant as them. Shaq and
Duncan
and like those
Duncan
runs.
In 03.
Duncan
in 03 was 25.
He was not more
15.
dominant as Jordan and LeBron in the playoffs. That's the thing.
He was 25, 15, and 3
he was
blocks.
great, but he
was
not.
That run was crazy.
Like you could, if you take anybody in history and put them up against Michael Jordan and LeBron, they will outperform everybody.
Yep.
But put somebody up against Duncan, I don't think he would outperform everybody. Like Shaq, probably not even Hakeem, but LeBron and Jordan and Kobe too. They will probably outperform everybody on the court.
Well, against the Lakers,
I mean,
he was 28, 12, and 1 block. He was dominant against them.
Listen,
he was dominant, but
what about 21 Giannis?
Nah, I wouldn't say that either.
Yeah.
2019 Kawhi, 2019 Kawhi?
Nah, he was not more dominant than LeBron and Jordan in any playoff run.
I mean, what do you see besides Shaq? I mean,
94,
Shaq in 2000.
94 Hakeem, 94 Hakeem?
Nah, I was getting ready to say Hakeem, and now Hakeem got a
How did I not see that?
Yeah, he was great, but I don't think he would have did the same thing to like Kobe and Shaq Lakers. I don't think he would have just dominated a prime Shaq just like that.
He was just good. He was just
I don't think
prime Shaq against a prime Hakeem. I don't know.
What's scary is that Shaq was still giving him like 27 points a game in that series.
Yeah,
and that was like
year three.
Third-year Shaq.
Prime Shaq would have been a different beast.
Yeah, I think
a lot of people don't understand. Like when Hakeem won those championships, he was at the end of his prime. He wasn't dead smack in the middle. He was like 31, 32 years old.
He was still at his best. That was the best of Hakeem.
Yeah, I think he was like 96 Mike, where he perfected his game, like footwork wise, post game, and arguably defensively.
He just had a better team.
Like I would say Hakeem's prime was from 89 till about 98, 97. So that he would have been like Rob said, close to the tail end, but still in the peak of his prime. 94 would be the peak.
Yeah, 94.
Didn't he have like the least help?
Yeah, he had no All-Star, no Hall of Famer, no top 75, no top 50.
You're right. Hakeem's the GOAT.
He had directionally. He's the first championship he didn't have it. The first championship.
But I really never really dug into Hakeem's career, but I'm looking at it right now. Like if he had that help, We'll be talking about him in a different light.
I mean,
If it
it's a
was
different
Jordan
time
instead of
period.
Pippen,
Like
I
they didn't.
came in '99.
Yeah, it was a different time period. Like the best player was Michael Jordan. And he was going to dominate because there wasn't anybody teaming up to actually compete versus them. So if you put the best player on the court, Jordan was just going to destroy everybody.
Yeah. It was funny. I think that like a lot of not to team up, but teams actually starting to draft to counter certain players. Maybe started with Shaq when he just was, unstoppable to the point where you're like, well, this guy is going to foul out two of our centers. He's going to drop 20 or 35 and 14 on us. Who do we have? Well, let's get a lot of fodder to put in there. Or like, we're looking to trade for.
Shaq put a lot of money in big men pockets back then.
Yeah, he really did. And like, it's just, that's when you started having all that stuff. And like, that's when the Lakers were insane during those years. And then obviously the prime Kobe wasn't fair. But,
teams really you used to build through the draft. That's how they used to build through the draft. Like, I don't know if they didn't understand that better players on your team will help you win. Who knows? But they really didn't go that route. That we have to win a title this year.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna win it with the team we have. That's how they view things.
I think a lot of the dynasties that we saw, like in the 80s especially, were fortunate enough to have a lot of that talent homegrown, or like you said, through the draft. And so that's why I don't think there was a huge uproar when people were like, or I think that's why a lot of let's say when LeBron went to Miami, I think that's a part of the reason why there was a huge uproar, was because like, oh, he went there, he got traded, or he went to free agency, he wasn't homegrown. When I don't hold that against him, because I think whether or not you're homegrown.
Saying about the Magics when they got Kareem and then the following year got Magic and wound up getting Worthy.
Yeah, no, that was just a lightning in a bottle, man. Like, you take a top 5 player, and then who knew Magic was going to be another top 5 arguable player, and then you get Worthy too, who is arguably a top 40 player of all time, and like it's just game on. But and then
it wasn't so bad because they drafted. It was how they got the draft picks that was the issue.
Yeah, and then Bird came in, and then he had basically 2 guys waiting for. He had arguably the greatest impact in a single season in NBA history, his first year.
Yeah.
And it was just they went from there, but it wasn't like them leaving teams.
They got Robert Parrish in the trade.
Yeah,
that was from Golden State. Then they got McHale. They traded for McHale to get the pick for McHale. And then they had, I think it's Nate Archibald or JoJo White. One of those two played on the team with them in '81 when they won a championship. They had Cedric Maxwell. They even picked up Pete Maravich in 1980 for him to have him. He had Pistol Pete Maravich.
They got Bill Walton too, right? Like in '86.
Yeah, then they got Dennis Johnson and then Bill Walton.
So Celtics were doing it.
Yeah,
Magic in his 3 years.
But remember back then.
A college title and an NBA title in 3 years. Magic.
But remember back then, the best pool of talent players came from college. Today, it's not really like that anymore. You actually have a larger pool of players to grab outside of college. So,
well, I think it's now because it's been so many hype players that they don't really look at the draft as how to build through players, because so many of them are bust. And it seemed like in like the 80s and like 90s, you knew that if you could build through the draft, you're going to get an impactful player. It's just not like that no more.
And the players is not staying with the team. They don't want to try to get somebody to build around, and 3 years later he done signed.
And rookies were making big money back then. Now rookies make money now.
I don't even think they making money, but they still have to perform on the court, and they're not as impactful as the players in the 80s and 90s. They're just not.
It's not a risk if you draft Sam Bowie and he gets injured. You understand what I'm saying? If you draft somebody now as number 1, 2 pick or number 3 pick, they're going to get a big contract, and if they get hurt and they don't play for you, you know what I'm saying?
That don't really matter today because they have so much money. Like, you have to pay somebody. Like, it don't really matter. It's just they're not helping.
They didn't have money back then either.
They're not helping them win. So it's not as impactful. It's not impactful as like it was better to actually trade to get James Worthy than to trade for a player, because they knew that James Worthy was going to be impactful.
And he wasn't going to sign nowhere else for the next 10
No, but that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But they get those trades too because those teams be needing money. They don't sometimes they can't like as an example, this guy went to Philadelphia, Dr. J went to Philadelphia because they couldn't afford him in New York. And they was like, yo, we got to send you over here because they couldn't afford him on the Nets.
That's how the Lakers got the James Worthy. Cleveland couldn't afford it. They traded the #1 pick for cash. That's why everybody was upset.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because there was even if I get James Worthy, I can't afford to keep him on my roster.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yo, we've been on for a while, fellas. We about to get on. We about to get up out of here. It's great having you guys on. I wish the season was on, man. We would have more to talk about, but we did talk
soon,
man.
Hey.
There's a documentary that came out a while back on HBO about the ABA. Definitely check that out.
All right. Do you got the name for it? Or no, you don't got the name?
I don't have the name off rip. I watched it last week, but it is definitely. Why has Travis got two?
You got two Travises.
Yeah.
Travis, we're gonna clone you. We're gonna clone Travis.
Yeah, but definitely check that documentary out. It tells you like from beginning how they all started and everything, and like what they had to do to build up the ABA and like the players that came in. They talked about Connie Hawkins. They talked about Haywood. They talked about Dr. J, how impactful Dr. J was, and like how he was. I think they spoke about him was going to go to the NBA, but he stayed in the ABA. They spoke about a lot of players that a lot of people don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch it. I'm gonna watch that live. So
the ABA saved the NBA. That's in my opinion.
Yeah,
I wish they would just play the NBA because Dr. J was supposed to get drafted to the Bucks, and it was supposed to be Oscar, Dr. J, and
Oscar,
Kareem.
Dr. J.
No, actually, it was actually, if I'm served correctly, I could be wrong, but in the documentary they said the Hawks.
Not only that, no, the Knicks.
It was the Bucks.
Both Kareem and Dr. J said they want to go play with each other in the Knicks, and the Knicks said no.
Leave my Knicks alone.
The NBA wasn't that smart back.
Yeah.
It was never that smart.
But we're gonna get up out of here. Hey Rob, I'm gonna give you a week to watch Bill Russell, and I'm gonna watch this in a week. So next week when we talk on your live later on this week, you better have watch that Bill Russell documentary. But we're gonna get up out of here, folks, man. Thanks.
My thing is it's like they are using this documentary to persuade him to move in them. I'm like, man,
Reels is doing that. You know your boy Reels. That's your boy. That's your boy.
That boy is crazy. I done debated him so many times on Bill Russell.
We still got to get Wilt in your top 10. We got to do that somehow. I don't know how we're going to do that.
No, we're not doing that.
But anyway, we're going to get up out of here, guys. Y'all know who Craig is. Craig is on our Facebook. Y'all know Ralph Alexander on TikTok. You got Bill Manning. Y'all can find him in our Facebook. Travis in our Facebook. You got Brandon and I. We are GOAT James Kingdom. We are out of here. See y'all next week. I won't be here, but I'll see y'all next week. And 2 weeks from now, y'all, we will have officially the top 50 greatest players of all time. We're going to break it down for y'all. So in 2 weeks, we're going to have it. But next week, y'all won't see me. So y'all enjoy yourselves. Everybody be good, man.
All right, so y'all.
It's gonna be Brandon hosting it.
Yeah.
It's going to be Brandon exposing y'all.
Yeah,
hey,
we actually got somebody who wants to come on and try to get exposed with the Jordan thing.
Oh, so the exposing GJK?
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes? Oh, I can't. I'm gonna be watching it. I'm gonna be watching it.
Yeah, if they show up.
Yeah, I won't be on the show, but I'll be commenting and watching. So y'all boys be good, man.
All right,
peace.
All right,
Frank and Chad, y'all need to get a TikTok. Build up your followers so y'all get up on that.
Because
it's not hard to get 1,000. It's not hard to get 1,000 followers. Young Miami have it, so it's not that hard. Holla back.
Oh my God.